sir.
Check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Welcome to another glorious edition of the Pull Up, brought to you by Cash App. I am your gracious host, Joe Budden, here with a gentleman that I'm really excited to introduce. I'm excited that he's here. I'm excited he could join me.
Yeah, I'm excited too, bro.
None other than Big Sean,
excited, man. What up, though? What's the deal?
Nothing much, man. How are you? It's good to see you.
I'm feeling, every time people used to ask me how I'm feeling, I always would say good. I feel like that's kind of like a black and white answer, though. So
it says nothing when you say, I'm doing good.
I'm feeling good. Like, people could be going through some real shit, and it'd be like, yeah, I'm good, but I'm feeling good. Still, I'm feeling good.
But when people ask, that, isn't it normally like for small talk? Like, I assume that people don't really give a fuck about how I'm actually doing.
Right.
Because then I would tell you, but.
Yeah. Well, truthfully, I'm feeling I was talking to my homie over here. I just feel blessed to be here, bro. From losing, I feel like death's been getting a lot closer to us, to all of us. Okay. Losing people we love, losing loved ones. So I kind of feel like we forget how much of a blessing it is to just even be here. So I feel blessed. I feel inspired. I feel happy. I haven't sat down and talked in a while, so.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Where the fuck have you been? You haven't. And there's been a wave of people that just don't want to talk to people. Mm-hmm. And you've been distant is the word that I'll use. And then you popped up and gave us maybe a little glimpse as to why that has been.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like you really delved into it.
No, I didn't.
Was that purposely? Was that a conscious decision not to?
Well, first of all, time, I don't know if it's just me, but time has been moving like so...
Rapid.
Yeah, it's like, it feel like it's getting faster, right?
Yes, that's what happens as you age.
Really?
Yeah. How old are you?
31.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
it's moving fast, though.
You are 31?
Yeah. That's pretty
You've
old.
been around for a while.
Over 10 years. I started young.
I know. Finally Famous 10-year anniversary next year. Does that make you feel away?
Not really, though. Because when I meet people and, I look back and people are like, yo, this album had an impact on me, or your mixtapes and these things like that. So even when I ran into Corday and he was like, I just want to tell you because, people, I don't want to, wait till you gone or wait for anything. Like, Finally Famous had a real big impact on my life, So I was just like, it's cool to see the impact that it has on people. And at that time, I was just figuring it out, But consciously, when I first started, I used to vlog every week. I used to be like putting all my moves on the internet. You can still look up on my YouTube channel. I had like these videos like about inspiration, about fear, about family, like really opening up and dealing with it. But as things like progress, because you feed so much content, right? And as things progress and the load started getting heavier, like work-wise, I kind of just fell off of like keeping people involved in my life in that way. Because when you keep uploading videos, the views, like we saw the views started to go down, but the music was going up. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna just focus on the music. And I think that I was used to like letting people in and used to posting everything, but then I just didn't feel like it anymore. And it's not because of, it's not because I was like shutting out fans or like shutting out people out of my life. I just like, I think I was giving so much that I didn't give anything back to myself. And I just was ran out.
Around what part of your career did that feeling become heavy? Because listen, you came out Marvin Chardonnay. I was having a blast in my yard by the pool.
Yeah.
Oh my God, all of those records from that album totally provided my toxic anthem. Yeah, no, it was ass shaking.
Yeah.
It was
fun, man. I was having fun, and that's why I do it, to have fun, you know. And as I look back, I realize how rare it is to have one platinum song or to have one hit song that does well, right? So, you know, to have one and another, it's like catching lightning in a bottle every time. And so I'm like 52 million records deep, and now when I look back, I just feel kind of like...
I love niggas that could just drop casual shit like that.
I'm
at 52
it's
million.
not casual. It's a blessing because I know how rare it is. There was nobody in my city before me that was black that was doing it at that level. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, that's why we assume. That's why when there are hiatuses amongst you superstars, we as consumers.
Superstar? You think I'm a superstar?
I think so.
I think I'm a superstar too. I just wanted to know what you thought. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm sure you think you are. In your music, I hear you acknowledging that other people do not. I do hear that, but I wasn't getting to that yet. We assume that you, all right, let's say big time stars, that you big time stars are just on a hiatus because y'all are big.
No.
Sold a lot of records, you could take a break, disconnect from whatever the rollout persists of or whatever the fans are demanding of. So it was a shock when you came out with all this universe, I wasn't right, I'm stepping away shit.
It wasn't my choice.
It was life happening.
It was life happening. It was like, I just didn't feel like myself, you know? And I'm sure a lot of people go through this in different ways, but when you do something, it could be anything. Whether it's music, whether you a publicist, whether you a manager at a fast food restaurant, whatever the case is, and everything in between, once you do something for a certain amount, I've been rapping since I was 11 years old. So the passion, I realized that I didn't have the same passion that I once had when I was 11, when I first, wrote my first rap, or when I was putting out my mixtapes, I didn't have the same passion, and I was thinking that it was the passion for music, but then when I would go in there and work on the music, I realized that I still had the passion for that. I just didn't have the passion for life anymore because I wasn't taking the time out to enjoy myself. I wasn't taking that time out to live. It was like, this industry is like, you gotta stay on their necks, you gotta stay hot. Oh, what you coming with?
Yeah,
what you coming with?
You better believe it.
And I write all my stuff, so it's like it's not like I just have people sending me records. I have to think of that. And it's hard to think of that when all your experiences are the same. Essentially, you sit in the studio, you having to do a show, you having to do this, do that. I didn't take the time out to live life in between those moments. And I think the balance caught up to me. You know what I'm saying? And I had no choice. It was not like I wanted to step away. Why would I want to step away from something that's been my dream? I just had to realize that I had to take care of myself first.
Well, your dreams can change, right?
Yeah.
Music could have been the dream at 11 years old, 15 years old, shit, even 21 years old.
Right.
And then once you get inside this dimension, I'll call it, you could have a revelation okay, maybe I don't want to spend 25 years doing this.
Right.
Maybe this is a little more taxing than I anticipated. I was going to ask you if the repetition of it all played a part in you feeling like you was feeling.
Absolutely.
Finally famous, 10-year anniversary next year.
Yeah.
You've got a bunch of projects. You've got projects with other people.
Yeah.
It's studio, album, promo, tour,
Studio, album, promo, tour, studio, album,
hit
promo.
single, radio run, billboard,
Yeah,
repeat.
right.
How do you jazz this up? How do you spark something different creatively?
See, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know, and I think it's through experiences. I think it's through like figuring out what you love to do. You know what I'm saying? So when I turned 30, that was when it all like hit the wall. That's when everything just like, I woke up every day and I just was like over life. You know what I'm saying? Like literally. So I was
At
like, okay,
30, and that's supposed to be such a celebratory age for men.
Bro, and it was. I just moved into a house. I moved into Slasher's old house from Guns N' Roses. I'm talking about, this is my dream house. I like spent a year remodeling.
It's another beautiful casual drop.
Nah,
right away.
I'm just.
If you don't know who Slash is,
Yeah.
I
Guns N'
assume that that'd be a
Roses
nice
Slash.
house.
Yeah, right. It's
Go
very
ahead.
nice. Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, when you out there, you should come by. But but I keep my family in there. It's like it's a good environment. But the point is, I got in there and I felt the worst I ever felt. So one of the things that really was hitting me about that is like, okay, this is a clear example of me getting one of the things I always wanted, and it not affecting how I'm feeling. So I realized that.
Not to cut you off, before that moment in your past, had materialistic things done something for how you feel internally or no? Had that been a pattern up to that point?
So quick, temporary.
Yeah.
It's like you get the car you always wanted, you drive it, a week later you like thinking about something else, you know what I mean? I remember I always wanted like this Jesus piece, and Kanye, when I signed the Ye, he gave me the Jesus piece, and I had it, and I cherished it, but even then, like a few months later, I loved it so much, but it doesn't give you the fulfillment that you necessarily thought it would, because you realize that what really matters are the things that you can't necessarily buy. Those are the things that are gonna like long last fulfill you. But obviously I'm super thankful for obviously having a beautiful house. I'm super thankful for having, the Jacob Jesus piece.
Let's not get to the thankful part yet.
Right.
Let's stay right here, and I'm in Slash's old house.
Right.
It's big as shit. And I'm fucked up in here. Did that take a toll on the people you were surrounded by at the time? Did you isolate yourself? Were you disconnected from family? Like, who knew?
Man, you hitting it like, were you there?
All of my history is trenched in therapy.
Yeah.
So you just saying a lot of shit that I kind of identify with, so I'm able to have this conversation.
Yeah.
A lot of times as artists, you feel the burden to always appear to be your strongest self. And there's not but so many people you can call, and family, friends, whoever, and just say, yo, this is what's going on. I don't know what's going on. How about that? I'm fucked up, this how I'm feeling, I don't know what's happening. Especially as an artist that's responsible for so much. And it's common, or it was common, to hear artists at my level speak about it. But it's become more common to hear artists at your level speak about it. So give me, in the house, who we calling, who's there, who's the confidant, who pulls us out of that darkness? Because I think there's a lot of dark been on your albums.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's never highlighted when we have Big Sean conversations.
True, very true, because it is
Because you
something
fool them
that-
with the fun.
Yeah, for sure. It's something that we all go through. I mean, we come from places where it's dark. You know what I mean? And we have to.
Detroit is dark.
Detroit is dark.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time there recording music.
Yeah, it's
It did
dark.
something to me, the
It's dark.
energy.
New York is dark too.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
But just to go back to that point, like, for sure, my circle, the few people around me, especially the people who work with me, people could just feel it. My manager, Jay Brown, could feel it. my homie Mike Carson's, you know, like everybody who was around me, they could see it, you know. It was like, it just felt like I was blocked from everything. Creatively, physically, mentally, emotionally, I was just done. I was just ready to be done. And it was scary because I had just got a gun too. So it's the worst combination to be feeling like
When
this.
you moved into Slash's house?
Yeah,
You just got a gun?
yeah.
Why do you want a gun in Slash's house? Why does Big Sean want a gun at this point in his career?
Because you never know.
Nigga shit?
You never know. Not
Got
because
it.
of nigga shit, just because like people are crazy. You gotta protect yourself. And I looked at it as just like, not only just protection, but also like, I like going to the gun range. That was something I started to do. Like, it's therapeutic sometimes. I only go once in a while, and I haven't even been lately because I just been so in the studio, but it's just something I wanted to do.
Okay, so what energy did the gun in Slash's house bring?
Those moves don't mix. Clearly. Duh. But, you know, and I would walk around with it sometimes. I was just like, I was feeling,
Paranoid?
not paranoid, just feeling over it. Just feeling over it, man. I'm not gonna lie. And my relationship, now this is, like, my relationship at the time with my family was completely disconnected. Like, a lot of people see me with my mom. They know to see me with my mom, see me with my dad. I be taking my family a lot of places, but at that time in my life, for them couple years, I remember vividly telling her, like, I don't want you to be a part of my life. I don't want you to come around. And that didn't even sound, when I was saying stuff like that, it didn't sound like me. So I knew something was just off. I had gotten off my path. And I couldn't, you know, I had a lot of things coming up, a lot of concerts, a lot of money, a lot of just opportunities, and I just had to say, I'm not trying to do anything right now. And the first thing I did was, all right, let me figure out some therapy. Because I had to talk to somebody, and even though I feel like I can talk to my circle, the people around me, it's kind of like I wanted to talk to somebody where I can just like leave it there with them. Because sometimes when you talk to, I am a firm believer of communication too and talking to the ones around you, but sometimes you want to talk about stuff and have that relationship just with that person and leave it there.
Yeah.
Because once you leave it there, you bringing a whole new energy back to you and your circle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And once I started that, I just realized that I was just off. But I feel like the first step to overcoming that is just really recognizing it. And you know, I used to think that it was like, you know, people was like, oh, you gotta, you know, your mental health, you have to take care of your mental health. And that's something I didn't even ever consider. That was like the last thing I used to think about. I used to think about, I gotta take care of my mom, I gotta take care of everybody. And even when we wasn't talking, like I paid, you know, I bought her house in Michigan and I was paying, you know, for my dad's stuff. I was the backbone of the family still. And it's just like, I always held that responsibility without ever thinking like, well, they're people too. You know, they can also take care of themselves. I never thought like that. So I always carried that burden. When really, if I just talked to them, they probably could have been like, oh, it's cool. I could pay for this. Or it's cool, actually, you know. And because that was one of the things I always wanted to do, you know. I always
Like all
wanted
of
to
us.
take care of my family. I always wanted to do that. And, you know, but once I just opened up, everybody was just so accepting around me, you know. Everybody understood.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like, I'm talking about like my family, even my management. And I respected them because when it's somebody that's making money off of you, that gets paid, that has a monthly, you know, gets commission off of you.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they can be encouraging to be like, sure you just don't want to take this one show for whatever, you know. Like, sure you just don't want to do this, you sure? But everyone around me cared about me more than they cared about all that.
That's a blessing in itself.
Yeah.
Well, outside of the management, I was about to ask you, how did the label respond to any of this stuff?
The label, I mean, they just,
Yeah.
First of all,
I'm the label. You
Yeah.
sold 52 million of something.
Yeah.
You're important, and I got quotas to meet. When is Big Sean coming? And
Well, so I'm in the Def Jam building.
okay.
And honestly, bro, the building, it moves around so much. There are a couple people who've been there since I've been there, but I've seen the heads of the company switch so much that I don't really, like whatever they tell me necessarily, like I take with a grain of salt, but I don't listen to the label so much when it comes to especially
Mental health.
and the thing about that word mental health is I realized that it's just health. As I was working on myself, like you don't be like, my sexual health or like my arm health is really good today. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's really just health. And I think that people gotta understand. I didn't know that. Your brain is attached to your body. It's a muscle. It's it's your mainframe computer. And, so I made sure I put that first and foremost. I started working out.
I know you started taking your shirt off in pictures and shit. I seen it.
Come on, nigga.
You did.
Stop. I've been taking my shirt off.
Yeah, but it started to look a little different.
Maybe you just noticed.
Oh, maybe that.
Maybe you just noticed.
I chalked it up to the whole LA shit. When niggas go to LA, they get on their shit.
Nah. It ain't that. I mean, shit.
But working out makes you feel good.
Yeah, and first of all, let me make it clear. Yeah, so let me just I know we keep bouncing around, but first of all, I living in Detroit. Let's come back to this, but I just want to say, like, living in Detroit, like, you from New York, right? Mm. So you can stay in New York. New York is a mecca. It's like a mecca of the world, like New York, LA, London, Tokyo. You know what I'm saying? All these, like, major places. Like, Detroit, it's not like that, bro. Like, even though Detroit has historically been, like, one of the major cities in the world, like, in the Detroit I grew up in, it's just like, it's not too much opportunity there. And I kept having to go to LA. I was in LA working with Kanye. I was in LA, having to go to LA working with no ID. And then coming back to the point where it only made sense to get a place in LA. It wasn't just like I wanted to move out there, to get away from my city. It was like, that's where the opportunity was. That's where like the work was. Every time I was trying to collab with somebody, they'd be like, oh, I'm in LA. I'm like, shit, I gotta get out to LA. Cause that's where the opportunity is. You know what I'm saying? So like New York, that's another place that's like everybody be in New York. If they not in New York, they gonna be in New York. Hit me when you in New York. You know what I'm saying? So, and even now, like you see, man, people get killed so much in Detroit. Obviously people get killed everywhere, but even when, I was talking to T Grizzly and him losing his peoples, and they was after him. And it's just like, that's definitely a city where you run into the wrong person for no reason or for the wrong reasons, and they'll just fuck around and take your life, too. Mm-hmm. And even though my city showed me so much love, I come through, I'm charitable too, so I bring a lot of my foundation events to like, my neighborhoods I grew up in, to Detroit public schools. We fund like a lot of after school programs. So the city definitely loved me, but don't ever get confused with love. LA love Nipsey too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always that one, all it takes is one person to just be, stupid. But let's go back to Def Jam, about them being supportive. I never really cared about what people told me. There are times where my label would be like, we think you should do this, and I did the opposite. Because and sometimes they may have been right. Sometimes I made a mistake, but at least it was me following what I wanted to do, There are times where the label was against, like some of them projects, like 2088, they didn't want the label. That was a fight to put that out.
Get out of town.
Yeah, they did. They.
Oh, you don't even want to know what I thought.
No. What you think?
Thought.
What did you think? Thought.
I thought the label kind of came up with that idea. I said, all right. All right, somebody at Def Jam said, okay.
Bro, the
let's,
label
Let's put
hated-
him with her. Let's get them in the studio. They're hanging out together anyway. Let's see what comes out of it.
Oh my God.
It just seemed like a smart idea. Seemed like somebody up there would have come up with that.
Nah, so
What would be the fight if two of the label's more successful artists want to come together and create and distribute it with that label?
label shit? I don't know. I'm telling you, it was a struggle, bro. It was like, people were like, well, they wanted a solo album from her, a solo album from me.
Oh, well, yeah, no, that's the thing, too. No. Yeah, because y'all can't be taking breaks and now y'all get together and now it's 2088 time. No, I need a Big Sean album and a Janae album.
Right. But we was already doing that. That was just, you know, the chemistry we had in the studio. We had songs like Beware. We had songs like I Know. We had songs that was already like big songs. And, you know, when you had that type of chemistry, when you collaborate with somebody, that's something that's like, that's something you just don't like ignore, you know what I'm saying? And we came up with the idea to do, we did the project so quick, and the label just, you know, I mean, bro, if it wasn't, I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you, if it wasn't for Tidal paying for the video for 2088, it probably, we would have had to pay for it ourselves out of pocket. Like, it was hardly any support. Not to shit on my label.
Of course not.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just stating facts. And obviously, even now, the label, it's a different head of the label than it was then now. But yeah, it was tough. Any of that type of shit is tough. But I still didn't listen to it. We still did it. And because we felt like it was deeper than that. It wasn't for
A look.
the label or the look. It was just for like, we felt like doing it. And that's the part of being an artist that's fun. It's like, you can express yourself, be creative. And some people, you know, can take it how they want, but it's just like, at least you do what you want to do. That's what I love about being an artist. It's like, I get to express myself the way I want to express myself. Some people be like, oh, I wanted you to rap like this, or oh, I wanted you to be like that. It's just like, I'm not in the business of pleasing everyone. I feel like that's a business that no one can be successful in. You know what I'm saying?
You're so confusing to me.
Why?
Because I just don't feel like it should be the way that you say it is with someone who has seen success at every turn. Like, what fight would I have to have with the label after all I have done here at the label? Do you ever feel, I already hear in your music that you feel sometimes underappreciated by the audience.
Mm-hmm.
But is there anybody else that ever gives you that feeling as well? I would feel offended. I would feel insulted a bit that I have to prove myself yet again. As a creator, I have to prove myself with this project, prove myself here. When does it stop? Is it a never-ending cycle for y'all?
Yeah, I think so. I think people, the attention span is so short. You know, time, like music is changing, obviously, we see.
Yeah, y'all got stream farms now.
Right, exactly. Exactly, but I felt one of the things that I feel like I had to get a little more respect for myself, because for some reason I never like looked at the numbers and was like, I'm in this type of artist. What the fuck you telling me? I never was like that. It was like, I was always kind of like in the moment with it. I'm like, okay, like, even though I had a platinum album and an album before that platinum, album before that platinum, you know, all these platinum albums and things like that, I just kind of like, I think it was some internal work that I still had to do on myself. I had to learn how to respect myself. And You know, I can't control what other people think. I can't control, you know, that's when
You
you,
can
and when you
control
try
how it
when you
affects you.
yeah, when you try and control things that's out of your control, that's just the biggest waste of your time.
I agree.
So I never looked at it like that. In hindsight, I do kind of feel like, okay, they should have been a little more respectful to the idea. I'm sure, but now now I'm sure they want another 2088, I'm sure.
I'm positive they want one now.
But that's how it goes.
I would imagine that they're hounding you for the new album.
Yeah, they are.
Well, where the fuck's the new album? Wait, before you answer that, I meant to ask you in our mental health thing, and then I'm gonna leave that. What do you think of the concept of therapists at the labels?
Wow. It's really absolutely fucking needed.
I would say.
Yeah.
I would think that's just like the writing on the wall. It's like a guidance counselor at a school.
Did you think of that?
I won't take credit for the idea. It's just I have a lot of questions about labels and their infrastructure and how they operate.
Right.
And one of the more important ones to me seems like a therapist at every label would just fix a lot of shit. It would give the artist somebody to communicate with. It would give the label another extension that's not so business. That's not so. The creative can't thrive that way.
Right. Well, you
And
know, in high
sometimes-
school, you have like a guidance counselor that you can go talk to. Did you have that in your high school?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So-
for the years that I attended high school, yeah.
Yeah.
But music was my high school.
Right.
And I never felt like I had an outlet. I never felt like they ever understood. I always just felt like they wanted the music, and once the value left there, then that was the end of it.
Well,
But it just seems like a very simple fix.
you got to remember though that they don't give a fuck about you or me. For real. We have to remember that the label.
It's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It is business.
Fine.
It is business. But I think that, you know, a therapist at a label, I feel like if they put a therapist at a label, it would be because it would still just be for business. I hate to sound like that. I'm not hating, but it's just kind of like, well, let's get a therapist at the label so they can shut the fuck up and be happy and put these albums out.
But you could do the right thing for the wrong reasons.
Right, you can do the right thing for the wrong reason. So I do think that's, and I'm not saying, you know, I'm talking in general. I'm sure there are people at the label that care. Like, I know my dog Rodney at Def Jam, like, he riding for me. You know what I'm saying? Paul, I know he riding for me. You know what I'm saying? There's people at the label.
How you know?
Because, I mean, I know.
Okay,
Yeah,
continue.
I know. But there's people higher up than them that I barely probably ever seen that they be like, what's the numbers? You know, they looking at the numbers, you know? And, but like I said, that taking care of yourself, being able to express yourself, communication, is different than communicating through social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, social media is a communication that is beautiful because it's so easy to get something out. It's so easy. Like, it's just efficient. You know what I'm saying? But it has taken down the communication that people have face to face.
Yeah.
Even over the phone.
On the phone too.
You know what I mean? And that FaceTime, I'm not talking about
FaceTime.
I'm talking about that FaceTime is some of the most important communication and honest communication and valuable communication that you can give someone. And I feel like the more and more it get easier for us to order food on our phones, order groceries, order this, say this, do this. You know, it's that communication, that human experience has gone down. And I feel like it's important to just recognize it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely appreciate social media for all it's done for me. Like, shit helped make me who I am. But at the same time, I delete Instagram off my phone all the time. I delete Twitter off my phone all the time. At one point, I ain't had Twitter on my phone for like 8-9 months. You know what I'm saying? And I did that because you have to listen to yourself. and me listening to myself. And guess what? When I got back on that bitch, I ain't missed nothing.
Yeah,
I didn't
listen,
miss a beat.
I find that when you take those breaks from social media and then you come back to it, you look at it with a whole new set of eyes. You're like, what the fuck is all of this bullshit? It's
Right.
just like not so important in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
Okay,
But like
so
I do give it to the people who use their platforms.
to their advantage.
Yeah. My thing is, the scary part about it is, you have kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many you got, 2?
2.
I don't have any
boys.
kids yet, but my fear is that, like, when I have a daughter or a son and they go on Instagram and they grow up with that, see, there was a time where, nigga, we had to dial up, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like that. We seen Facebook, we seen Instagram get created.
Mm-hmm.
But when they're born into it and they see that heart under that picture, I just don't want them to attach that heart to their real heart. I don't want them to feel like, okay, the most pics I got was the pics where I was in my swimsuit, so let me post more pics with my ass out, you know? I don't want my daughter feeling like that. I don't want my son feeling like, okay, I gotta post these certain type of pics and it's to be attached to their heart, because that's instant validation. Nothing wrong with instant validation either. But as long as you just call a spade, as long as you just know what it is and know what it's for. And now people making money off their platforms too. They making money off of the gram. They making money off of it. It's not just like a pointless thing. It's not like, you know, motherfuckers is making money off of video games now. I remember I used to play games all the time. I was like, stop wasting your fucking time playing these video games. It's a waste of time.
Yep.
There's people making millions of dollars now.
My youngest son, he's 2, and he works an iPhone well. He works an iPad well. And as much as I be wanting to snatch it and say that's not what you should be doing right now, you got to let the kids be kids and figure it out, because I don't know the world that's going to exist in 15 years for him.
And you can't block their passion.
Yeah.
If they're passionate about that, they can be successful at it. I never thought a YouTube star would be a profession. I never thought that an Instagram, what do you call it, like Instagram model or like?
I would not know, Big Sean.
An Instagram influencer, there you go. Not an Instagram model, like
There
an
we go.
Instagram influencer.
An influencer.
An influencer.
A brand ambassador.
A brand ambassador. These are real, and these is like,
These are real terms.
these are like penthouse living jobs. Like there's people I know who have penthouses and mansions off of this type of shit.
Yeah.
Not shit, I don't want to call it shit because it's a real thing off of this type of work. So my thing is though, I just want them to keep it in that perspective, because you remember how hard it used to be to have to get to see somebody, like get a naked picture of a girl, you know what I'm saying, or a girl in their underwear. It's like, oh shit,
was
nigga,
tough.
I got some heat in my phone.
It was tough.
Now, a lot of times, you can go on, I'm not hating, you know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying, it's just easier. It's all out there now. And I just want to like, make sure that they know to have like a shield and not put it all out there.
Do you have plans to have children soon?
I think it's one of the only things that, I think it's one of the few things that I was meant to do is to like have kids. Yeah, I just haven't yet. I'm also a person who, I don't like to rush into things.
Well, that's why I asked. I'm amazed at the amount of foresight that you have, because no kids, no plans of kids.
I mean, I do plan on having kids.
No immediate plans on having kids, unless, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
But you're able to project that far in the future as to what you would like to protect against.
That's one of my,
Like, really think about that.
I have an imagination, you know what I'm saying? That's one of my gifts, and I can feel like, I can also say that's one of my things that I've been trying to, the only bad thing about that is it takes me out of the moment. And living in the moment is the only real thing. And that's something obviously we've been learning more and more. But having an imagination, you know, I'm always thinking about the future, always thinking about, you know, visualizing it. And I'm a firm believer in like manifesting what you want, you know, manifesting your goals. I feel like that's the reason, you know, my mom introduced me to that when I was 17. I've been meditating since I was 17 years old. So, you know, when I was depressed then in high school, can't remember over what, she was like, okay, read this book. I'm like, I'm not going to read this book. I got to read books for school, you know? But I remember just feeling so bad, I picked up the book and I just felt like it was talking to me. And that was the first time. One of those books was called Asking It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks.
Asking It Is Giving It.
Asking It Is Given.
Oh, Ask and It Is Given.
Yeah, by Esther and Jerry Hicks. And I remember just reading that, and they talked about the law of attraction, like manifesting what you want. And I just remember like seeing myself to the point, even riding to school, I'd be riding to school like with my best friend at the time, and he, you know, I'd be like, nigga, when I do a sold out show at the Palace, I'm like talking, that's like, cause I just saw it, and I put it out there. And I feel like one of the biggest things that messes people up is that they may put their passion or their dreams out there, and then they'd be like, oh, but that's kind of like, you know, even just that energy, that's kind of like, I don't know. Ain't nobody ever did that from here. Nah, probably, or, you know, people have that attitude towards that shit without even knowing it, you know, subconsciously. And I tend to not live in the moment, but the moment is all we have. And we've seen that with the people we lost. I lost a friend on New Year's Eve that was close to me. And then, you know, losing Nipsey. I remember the last conversation I had with Nipsey, and I told him, it was the day before the Grammys, and it was him and Lauren. And I was like, yo, man, don't even trip. Like, if you don't get this Grammy, you just getting started. Like, you know what I'm saying? You about to be right back. You know what I'm saying? This is just the first time. And then obviously.
And he got it.
I mean, he ended up getting it a year later.
He got it.
But obviously, you can imagine losing him a month later and feeling like, shit, you know, nothing's ever promised. But point is just like, sometimes you can plan for the future, but you always gotta live in the moment.
Where were you when you heard the Kobe news?
I was in LA and thought it was a nightmare because I had just woke up and my phone was blowing up. And it was actually Janae who called me and she was like, yo, you heard about Kobe? And ironically, we had just seen Kobe. We was just partying with Kobe for New Year's. And he was having like a ball.
Where y'all was partying at on New Year's?
Come on, man.
What?
You gonna be like, oh, just another casual drop. Like,
no, I asked this time.
No,
well, listen, you can't hide.
No. We was partying at Hov and B House for New Year's.
Hey, go ahead now, God damn it.
Come on, man.
Yo, you can't hide the spots that you party. I saw you at Puffs for the 50th. Of
course.
What a party.
Yeah.
Rock Nation brunch. You party, you get out there.
Yeah, once in a while.
All right, so is that Hov and B House?
I don't stay on the scene like that, but I'll pop out when it's important.
When it's time.
When you honoring kings like Puff, you know what I'm saying, or you know, the Rock Nation brunch, I feel like that's a good meeting of the mind sometimes. I love going to that, but
Did you eat there? Is there food there?
At the New Year's party?
No, at the brunch.
I didn't eat there.
Nobody ever eats at this thing.
Where the fuck was the food at?
Yo, this is my $1 million question. I can never get an answer.
No, they have food there.
I'm sure they have food. I just never see people eat it. All right, so you're at Hov and B's for a big shindig New Year's Eve party.
Yeah, they actually do a New Year, like, they've been doing it for a while, the New Year's party. So we went there, and yeah, they were there. Kobe and Vanessa were there having a great time, having a ball. And obviously, you know, fast forward, I get the call, and I thought, like, for real, I'm not even just saying that, like, I for real thought I was asleep. I think I went back to sleep, woke up, and I was like, damn, You know, and then obviously the news that his daughter and those other families were with him.
Devastating.
It was definitely devastating. It was, it like had the whole world just at a standstill. And it also taught me that, you know, nothing, like literally waking up that day felt like a blessing. And I was like, damn, every day we wake up is a blessing. We got our own little issues, our own little, you know, situations. I be stressing, I'm trying to finish this album, I'm trying to do all this shit, like little things that are so microscopic when it comes to the subject of life and death. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something that not just Kobe's death, but everybody, Juice WRLD, Nipsey,
Mac, Triple X.
everybody. It's just kind of like, it happened like that.
It really fucks me out, and not to make this a morbid conversation, because I'm getting a little sad here, but
Yeah.
it affects me differently when the Juice WRLDs and the Triple X's, like when the younger kids transition. I don't know, sometimes I feel like I take some responsibility as an older generation as to whatever we conditioned you to or whatever you heard or just...
Why do you take responsibility for that?
Because I don't doubt the power of hip hop culture. I don't doubt the power of words. I know a long time ago, there was the conversation of did Rockefeller introduce a generation to some things that maybe we didn't know about or we weren't used to. That same conversation was with Bad Boy. Actually, throughout hip hop, for me, that conversation has always existed when it comes to hip hop and how we affect pop culture and the youth. I'm talking about as far back as Ice-T, 2 Live Crew going to court for rights, NWA, that whole thing. So it's always kind of been there. So.
But what about rock music? What about movies? I mean, you know, all of that. What about like Wolf of Wall Street? What about?
You're naming things that I don't feel are anywhere near as powerful as hip hop. And that's the difference.
Facts.
Yes, movies are make-believe. You could watch it, somebody in there with a rifle, shoot somebody's head off, that's it. If a kid leaves there and does it, do we blame that? I understand that.
Right.
Rock and roll, none of that shit I think can hold a candle to hip-hop.
I agree. I definitely agree, but I just feel like people are influenced by that too. But yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you or cut you off neither. But.
No, it's fine. But off of the morbid conversation. Okay, 2020. 2020.
No, but hold on, I wanted to finish that because
give
you're
it to me.
saying that hip hop, you know, you feel a little bit responsible.
It's not a burden I carry, but it is a thought that I have often. Like Juice WRLD on his tour bus, crossing a border, being alerted that police may be ahead, allegedly, and attempting to swallow whatever he had on him, allegedly.
Bus, I thought it was a plane.
Private plane, whatever it was. Yeah, plane. It was a private plane.
Yeah.
But yeah, that story is realistic to me. It's realistic to me. As a rapper, I've been in that situation. Maybe I was on a bus. I wasn't on a plane. But where you just traveling with some shit, they hit you that some cops is over there. Like, as a rapper youth, I've put myself in some situations that could have been critical for me. So it touches me on that level. Triple X going to the bike store after he made however much money he made, but he was doing amazing for himself.
Yeah.
And I know that feeling. I know that feeling of being 21, you in your hood, you hop out of something fresh, pocket full of money, and you got to keep your head on a swivel because...
Yeah, because all it takes is one person. And as many as people loved him.
Only take one to hate him.
It only takes one.
Yeah, I feel like he would have given them that money had they asked for it.
For sure.
It's only in hip hop where these stories play out this way and they affect me like that. I don't give a fuck about what's going on in rock and roll.
Right.
Who's in rock and roll? Name me 5 rock and roll current artists right now. I don't know.
Me either.
Exactly.
See, I be around in the studios with everybody, and I be seeing all that shit like firsthand. And I know the personality that I have. Like I can't deal with that. Like I have an addictive personality. So if I was on pills, if I was on, doing coke, if I was no, I know.
Please
I don't.
don't.
But I'm saying though, if I was, I know that I wouldn't be able to handle it. So when I see people who can balance their life and do it, it's just always kind of like, ooh, it's kind of like walking on a tightrope with no safety net, All you gotta do is just slip, and it's over. Even if you're a pro, you could just be looking up.
Yeah, but it's entertainment. So
I know,
I assume whatever I see is the balancing act. Mm-hmm. And I assume all the artists go home to fall off the tightrope and get in their comfort zone and do whatever.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think earlier when we was talking how I was feeling, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel like that. But it's an easy escape when you could just, pop a perk or whatever it is you do. And I have been in situations where, I was in a habit of like, okay, smoking weed every day, drinking every day. It's so easy to become an alcoholic. And there's a bottle in every dressing room you go into. Everybody giving you a bag of weed everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or Adderall or all these different things. Like, it's so easy to do. And I've seen myself kind of get into a rhythm of stuff like that. And then I'll be like, no, I need to chill out. But so my point is, when I got into that moment in my life where I was feeling so off course, that I can see how people can do that, but I just wish that they knew that that's gonna lead you way, way more off course, as opposed to dealing with the shit you gotta deal with. You know what I mean? Because the way it's glorified, it's like they doing that shit for a reason. It's not just because it's cool.
They're doing it to cope.
They're doing it to cope because the industry can put unrealistic expectations on you.
Speak to that.
I mean,
to the people that may have no idea about what this industry.
I mean, it's unrealistic to be on a plane 8 days a week. It's unrealistic to do 2-3 shows a day, then have to be in the studio, then have to do an interview, then have to somehow live your life.
That's when the white artists normally check in for like exhaustion and shit.
Yeah. But we don't.
Why can't we? Can we?
We can, I just think we're too proud to. I think we're too proud to, bro. It's kind of like...
Because what is exhaustion for a black person? Like, how do you recognize...
Fucking dying. I mean, that's not funny, but I'm saying, though.
It is.
You know, you get pushed till you can't move and you in the hospital and you on bed rest, Because that's how we was raised, bro. It's like, we would be like, yo, you a bitch, nigga. Like, nigga, tough up. Like, be a man. Like, you gotta take care of your shit. Like, we come from, at least I do, where my mom worked 2 jobs. People had to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs sometimes. And so, and when you making the type of money you making is, quick, it could be, sometimes somebody could be making $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $250,000 a show. So it's like, yeah, do them 3 shows, and get that money and worry about yourself later. But I'm telling you, that only lasts for a little bit.
Who negotiated your Coachella fee?
My booking agent.
You're on the second line.
I seen.
How you feel about it? Did you argue for your place on the line? Did you argue about the font size of your name?
I didn't argue about it, no. I mean...
And I'm only asking because I've never been and probably won't ever be invited to a Coachella. It just seemed like when Coachella called, it's a quick negotiation. Mm-hmm. It's like, this is the bag we got. You want it? Like, is it significantly bigger without divulging details?
Significantly bigger? I feel like... No, it's not significantly bigger at all. It's just, you know, I've come out of Coachella a lot. I've been up there, but it's my first time.
This is your first time.
Yeah.
How you feel?
Truthfully, bro, I don't care about, obviously, I would love to be a headliner, but I'm gonna rock that bitch like I'm headlining, for sure. That's my thing. Like, I love when people, when they underestimate me or they doubt me, because that, I'm gonna bring my
Yo,
my shit to
nobody
my
brought
A1.
up doubting and underestimating.
What you mean?
I think it's interesting how you bring that up when it's not brought up. Who the fuck would be doubting you on the Coachella stage? This is the biggest, this is as big as it gets, Sean. What doubt?
Good point.
It's Coachella.
Yeah, I think when I was just referring to you as like, well, they put you on the second line. And I'm like, well, that's out of my control. That
Being
don't matter.
facetious. It's the second line.
Yeah.
It's mad lines in there to be on.
Hey, it's 20.
It's something I had to
goddamn
squint
20
to see, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good. But you are looking forward to it. When you posted about it, I said, oh, he seems excited about that.
Yeah,
You should be.
for sure. It's a good time. And it seems like it's gonna line up perfectly with what I'm trying to do, so.
Well, the last time I saw you, we were in the studio.
Yeah.
You played me some music that you called the album,
Yeah.
but I know an album is not finished till it's out.
Right.
How many changes have been made to the music since then?
Probably just some additions. All the ones you like still on there.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. All right, so we've made some additions.
Yeah.
What's the hold up?
The whole.
Oh no, you coming? Cause Coachella, you're not letting that pass. You're not letting that pass.
Right.
Do you feel pressure at all?
No, I don't. I feel excited. I believe in divine timing. I believe that the universe got me, especially if I've been taken care of by God this far. I already know that things are gonna line up perfectly, you know, and it wasn't my choice to not have, like, I wanted to put my album out last year, but it just, I didn't feel it in my heart. It just wasn't all the way there.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, with the extra time, I've been able to even make it more of something I'm, you know, extremely happy about and ready to give to the world. And I think it's gonna be perfect timing.
Are there any details that?
But if it ain't ready, I mean, I'm not forcing shit because.
Because I'm rich.
No, not because I'm rich, man.
All right, energy, come on.
Because it's a 5th album for me and it's important. And I feel like that you can't rush those type of things, whether it take a year, 2 years, 3 years. It's going on 3 years now, but that's just what it takes sometimes. Last time I did that, last time I took that time out and felt that way was when I put out Dark Sky Paradise. That's the only time where I've had the amount of time to really put everything I wanted into an album. And that was one of my favorite albums. You know what I'm saying?
Is it your favorite?
I Decided and Dark Sky, to me, they're completely different, but those are mine. Like, I can't pick between them.
Got it.
Yeah, but I know Dark Sky that was a moment in my career where I felt like I had a lot to prove. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I felt like that, but I just did.
That seems to be a constant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you don't feel like you have anything to prove?
No. Not to anyone but myself.
That's what I mean, though. When I say to prove, I mean to myself. You can't prove people wrong. That's for them to decide if they're wrong. You could have goddamn cold, hard evidence and be like, and they'll be like, nope. They believe what they want to believe. So it's not about proving people or proving haters wrong or no shit like that. It's like, no, I want to prove this to myself because that's the commitment I made to myself.
Got it.
Yeah.
I have a counter to that.
Okay, go ahead.
Because that's got to be bullshit.
Why?
Because we're in the music business, and whether we like to admit it or not, well, you are. Whether we like to admit it or not, a large part of being in the music business, it would be other people's perception of your art.
Right.
I expect us to always have the utmost confidence in our ability. But the trajectory of where we go and don't go is contingent upon public opinion. That's why.
Okay.
Speak to it.
Yeah. But you can still be proud of something you do no matter what the fuck anybody says or thinks, or, you know, whether it's your most successful or least successful. You know, I personally, and this is no bullshit, I don't make my music to, you know, I don't make my music necessarily to be people's favorite song. That's not what I'm thinking in my head. I'm making the music for me because that's how the fuck I was feeling at the time. Because I wanted to get that off my chest, or, you know, I'm proud of it. There's been times where I had put out songs that I listened to other people, and they were my favorite songs, and they did well. And I was like, you're right. But there are also times where I put out songs that did well that I believed in, and it was a way more fulfilling feeling.
Can we do a quick lyric breakdown?
Yeah. You see what I'm saying, though? Or no?
No. Yeah.
All right, let's go.
I do. I mean, as much as I can, because you have such a different experience than me. So I do
In
understand.
what ways do you think that?
In the music business.
Okay.
That needs to be further explained? Okay, let's do it.
We all have different experiences.
You came in supported
How you feel?
from the looks of it.
Okay. In what ways?
You were backed. You had
What's that mean, though?
backed. Oh yeah. You had someone invested in you that had already seen a certain amount of success in music and they had a certain cachet. And as a new artist, that's helpful. Yeah, that's helpful. When I got signed in 2001 or 2002, I was the rarity in that I just came in with like some street niggas. I didn't have,
But
they
who
didn't
were you
know
signed to?
about music.
Who were you signed to?
Def Jam.
There you go. That's backing right there.
No, sir. No, sir. And I will not allow you to paint that picture on the camera.
I mean, how is it not when Def Jam...
Signing to a label is taking a loan from a bank.
I'm not saying it isn't, but what I'm saying is
how's
the
that
perception
support?
of people, when you go back to your hood and you be like, I just signed a deal with Def Jam. They like, oh, shit.
That never did anything for me.
I don't believe that.
Never.
It had to have done something.
Not a once.
It has to make a difference being backed by Def Jam than being backed by yourself or your mom or something back then, or whoever had money. It had a certain officialness to it, that Def Jam stamp, at least to people's perception.
But
I'm not saying...
I never thrived off perception is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yes, it did something. But even before there was a Def Jam, when I was on Clue tapes, it did something. When I
Right.
went to the hood, oh, I heard that, I seen that. The perception and what was really going on with me never lined up to where it was like, I got gratitude from that. When I was on Clue tapes the hood thought I had a deal, and I didn't have a deal.
It's fire.
It wasn't. It's miserable.
Nah, I
they
mean-
think you got a deal. They think you have money. They think you're situated. I was just on a mixtape.
But it was an opportunity, though, bro. That's what's fire about it. Like, you still had an opportunity, and you were...
Sean, I'm gonna always make my own opportunity.
A lot of people can't do that. That's an extraordinary thing about you then,
Well,
because...
the creators are superheroes, man. It's
Yeah.
not just me. There's a bunch of us out there. We can create opportunity from nothing sometimes, and with very minimal help.
I agree. I'm the same way. So let me tell you something. Were there other artists signed to good music?
Were there other artists signed to good music at the time of your first release?
Just in general, bro, when I was around. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. I don't even have to say no names.
I don't recall.
But that's what I'm saying.
But when y'all did that cypher, it was you and some other niggas.
Right. My point being is that that cosign isn't necessarily a backing all the way sometimes. Sometimes they can box you in because of that. And I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. There were other artists signing good music that never dropped. There were other artists that were shelved. It was other artists that got the opportunity to be on Kanye's album. I didn't get a chance to do that till later. So even though I did have, which I'm extremely grateful for, Kanye helped me, you know what I'm saying? He's the one who, first of all, he discovered me. He was the one who took me into Def Jam. I ain't have no like, but like I ain't had no like pop a single or you know, I wasn't buzzing at all. You know, only in my high school I was selling CDs. I was still in high school when I met Ye. So yeah, it was an opportunity, but I still had to rise above.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So having the backing is great. Being signed to good music, Kanye still is, and at the time, that was my first choice. That was like who I wanted to be signed to. You know what I'm saying? That was like on my vision board. That was what I would write down. That was what I would meditate on, and it happened. But my thing being, just going back to your point, is that, okay, yeah, I had that backing, but so did Consequence, so did GLC, so did all these other people as well. And it didn't work out the same way. Right.
What's for them was for them. What's for you was for you. But the backing afforded more opportunities. Maybe I'll say that.
Okay. Initial opportunities. But at some point,
Like I would have loved to have been there for your process of having to come up with the first single for the first album. I would have loved to just watch it the whole time.
Yeah.
And that was the Chris Brown record, right? Hands up in the air. Niggas like me were angry at that. Yeah.
Why?
Cause who the fuck is this kid with this? He's got the Chris Brown feature, the greatest beat ever of the flip of, I don't remember. This is out here.
Do you know how that happened though?
No. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall, but that was my shit, even though I was hating. And I was hating because every new artist would like for that to be their opportunity as well, I guess. That's what I'm saying. Like, to be able to say, I wrote this on my vision board, and this is what I got. This is what came. Yeah, everybody, that's not all of our stories.
Well, let me tell you though, so, it wasn't as simple as just being like, hey, the Chris Brown record, this and that, it was, you know. What happened was, so when I signed to Good Music, bro, at first, nothing was happening. So I had to make my own.
Yeah, prove yourself.
Of course, so I dropped these mixtapes, Finally Famous Volume 1, 2, 3, and all of a sudden I have a show in New York and Chris Brown showed up to it. I'm like, what the fuck? I ain't know Chris Brown. And Chris Brown was still Chris Brown. Like, Chris Brown been Chris Brown for a long time.
Tell me about it.
You know, and he came to the show and he showed love and he was like, man, you know, he told me I had this song called Bullshitting at the time. And that was like my biggest song. It was like a mixtape off my mixtape. And he was like, bro, let's work. Like, I'm trying to work, you know. And I've heard that before too, so I'm thinking a lot of, I don't know, it's not like I grew up with him, so a lot of niggas be industry. They be like, hey, let's work, what's work? And then you hit him up, you get no response. But he's somebody who followed through, and I remember we went, I had something in Miami, and he was in Miami like a couple weeks later, and we ended up doing some songs for his mixtape that he dropped at that time. And then, so I'm working on my first album, fast forward a little bit, I'm working on my first album. I'm in there with No ID. I'm in there with Don C. I'm in there with,
Love No ID.
Yeah, for sure. That's my dog.
What a guy.
Yeah.
What a just independent thinker.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the only people in this business that just give it to you that straight.
Yeah. So that's a whole nother conversation. He don't give a fuck.
I love it about him.
Yeah. That's how you should be though. You know, that's who you are.
And that energy in the studio, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I needed too, working on my first album. But he was like, nigga, you need a hit. I'm like, nah, I don't need a hit, nigga. I just did.
See, that sounds like No ID.
I just did sold out show in Detroit. I just did a sold out show LA, New York. Like, nah, nigga, I need to like He like, man, yeah, you need to keep doing that, but you need a hit, bro, too. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You need a hit. You need to be on the radio. So I'm like, I felt that. I was like, okay, let's make a song that's a hit. So.
See, even that sentence.
Yeah.
All right.
That's how I went.
Let's make a song that's a hit.
So I remember being in the studio. We made like a few songs though. So that wasn't the first one we made. We made a few songs that we ended up fucking with. And I just remember him playing New Edition, Can You Stand the Rain?
And boy, did he flip that.
That nigga Don C was in there like, oh shit, you know, my nigga Don, he got like that heavy Chicago accent, but he was like, nah, this that shit right here, this that shit right here, you know? And I'm like, to me, I didn't really remember that song that much. I knew it, it's a classic, but it wasn't like, I didn't live to that song. So anyway, he started making a beat, he made the beat. I'm not living in LA yet, I like go back to Detroit. And I'm just playing Ride to the Beat, and I'm not really fucking with it. Like, I'm not really liking this shit. Like, I ain't like it. But it just was a new sound or something that I just was like, nah, this ain't where I'm really trying to go. And I remember talking to him, and he like, nigga, you tripping? Like, he was like, just try something, just write something to it, just write something. I'm like, all right. So I wrote the hook for my last, and I'm singing it, it ain't sound right. I write the verses, I'm like, it's cool. And then I send it to him.
Did you write the I'ma have the baddest bitch in the world right here on my lap part?
Yeah, I wrote all of that. And I remember I sent it to him and he was like, it's out of here. I'm like, nigga, this
is out of here.
I'm like, this.
Good old music lingo.
I'm like.
We got one.
And then he like, yo, why don't you have Chris sing it? And that's when I was like, I took it to him and he heard it and he was like, oh, this the shit.
In that whole story, you just proved my whole point that I was making.
What?
The value in having a genius like No ID be there to just think, to hear, to experiment, to fuck around.
To help think outside the box that you as an individual, as an artist thinking.
Have creative for yourself. You don't have no point of reference. You're a new act. What the fuck do you know?
Nigga, I was so nervous dropping that song. And then that shit started going and I was like, whew.
Now, did you have, the second single was Marvin and Chardonnay?
Yeah.
Did you have that in the can when Last Call took off? No, right?
No. And I remember, what's crazy is I remember Ye was involved too, and he was like, man, you need to just stay on your mixtape shit. Like, he was telling me that. But then, cause I want to put my last out, he like, you know, he got it, but he was just kind of like, you know, he was like, he feel like I had more work to do in that department, I guess. And I remember DJ Khaled was another nigga who was in there like, this a hit! Like, DJ Khaled at that time was an A&R at Def Jam.
I know.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Yo, this nigga done been so many things, like.
Yeah, Khaled.
Yeah, Khaled.
I can't believe that Def Jam let Khaled walk out of that building.
It happens.
It shouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, they let go of a lot of people that they shouldn't.
No ID too, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you're supposed to let, whatever. So Khaled was screaming, it's a hit.
It's a hit. You know, and this is back when, so Ye and Jay was working on Watch the Throne at the time, so I'm in the studio with them, and like, you know, so Ye is kind of in that world. He working on that, but I'm trying to get my shit popping. I'm trying to put my single out. So it was just like, it wasn't a battle. It was just, he had to see where I was coming from. Anyway, it ended up coming out and ended up going. But so then when for the second single, Ye originally had Marvin and Chardonnay. That's like a song that he had. And that was one of the only times where like I was ever given a song and just had to do verses. And that was a blessing because that was a crucial moment for me. And then like when I put the album out, that song was like #1. And then then Ass on my album was going crazy. Like they was playing it on the radio.
This is great.
And without the label sending it to radio and in the Bay Area especially. And I remember I sent it to Nikki before. And
This is while it's out rocking.
no, I sent it to Nikki before my album came out and she didn't do it.
Got it.
And then she was probably busy or something. And then afterwards, after it was out and that shit was popping, she was like, you shoot a video for it? And I'm like, no. She was like, oh, let's do it, you know? And so.
Wobble. Yeah.
Yeah. And.
It's my Sin City days. Strip club, good times.
Yeah?
Yeah, oh my God. I'm telling you, man.
You never go back there for the old time's sake?
Well, Sin City is no longer there because of some illegal activities that they were allegedly a part of. But I definitely hit the strip club. Strip club that's part of my essence. Where else can you go to like hear music and see women and not be bothered by people? Because the people should be paying attention to the dancers and not the famous people. It's the strip club.
That's a pretty good explanation.
I ain't there for the strippers. They ain't the best looking.
That's what you tell your girl?
I don't have a girl. And the strip club is a fight that I'm down to have in any of my relationships.
Yeah.
You have to allow me to do the things that keep me whole. The things that keep my sanity where it is.
Nah, facts.
If I can't come in here and be the best version of me, this ain't really gonna work out. If I wanna go sit in the strip club at the bar for 2 hours, listen to music, and then come home, and it don't even be 2 hours, it'd be like an hour, it'd be quick. It's just a real minuscule fight to have if we really in love.
See, one of the only things about that is, I'm a germaphobe, so I be having to.
This fucking guy.
I'm not kidding you. Like, that's just how I always been. Like, when on the way here, on the flight, nigga, I'm wiping down my seats. I don't fuck with that corona disease. I don't fuck with colds. Yo, it's some nasty colds going on. Nasty, bro.
Well, let me just
Flus.
point out that the coronavirus is the name of a few different infections.
Okay, I get that. I know.
Okay.
I'm familiar. I ain't trying to get that shit, though. And so I'm wiping down my seats, bro. I'm Lysoling. I don't even walk barefoot in hotels. Like, I wash my hands. I'm definitely one of them niggas. I wash my hands before I take a piss. I'm not shaking niggas' hands and touching my dick. Period.
Got it.
And I'm washing my hands every time for anything. Before sex. Yeah.
You know you're gonna trade germs during sex, right?
Yeah, but
Oh my God, I can't, it just popped in my head. Yeah, we can't even have this conversation. I meant to ask you, like, Janae has she speaks about you in these fucking songs, and it makes it weird for niggas like me. I'll be honest.
Yeah?
Is anything about it weird for you?
No, I think it's authentic. I think for somebody cause I fuck with, first of all, she writes all her songs, like mainly. There's this one song that me and her wrote together on her new album. I'm not on it, but, off of Vibe, but she mainly writes her shit. So I just respect people who are that authentic. And,
come on, man. Like, my nigga.
What? It's not for you, bro.
I love Janae's music.
I know you do, but
I ain't trying to hear.
That's what I'm saying.
I got it.
You know what I mean?
Whatever. Maybe I would feel different if it was happening about me.
Yeah. I think it's fire, though. I do.
Y'all write together a bunch.
Yeah.
I think that's dope.
Yeah. She's actually, even in the studio for my album, she's been sitting in there and being like, why don't you try and do a song about this? Like, it's cool when you have like a creative person who really cares about you, who want to see you win, and y'all be trading ideas and like, that's definitely been real helpful.
So you're not allowed to the strip club in your relationship?
Who said that?
I'm asking. No one said it. I am asking.
Bro.
And I derived that from what you said about me and strip clubs, and is it trouble in my relationship?
No, I didn't say that. I just said, is that what you tell your girl?
Oh,
You talking about,
that triggers me.
It's the only place to focus on, where you can focus on the actual women in the dance.
Yo, you doing all that. I used to write rhymes in the strip club. I used to bring my laptop to the strip club.
But what I'm saying is, I only go to the strip club once in a while, because like I said, I'm a germaphobe, bro. I don't like touching shit. I don't be knowing where people been. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I wash my hands, bro. The vagina is a very sensitive thing. You have to proceed with caution with clean hands.
As I've heard.
Yeah. And, you know, I don't, like, the strip club ain't clean. I fuck with it, though. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit up and say I don't
So we're
fuck
not
with
gonna hear no strip club music on the new album.
Who said that?
I'm asking.
Bro, I didn't say I don't like, or maybe I did say, let me correction. I don't mind going to the strip club. I'm just telling you why I don't be in there.
Got it.
I love hearing my shit in the strip club.
I'm sure, yeah.
I made strip club songs, bro. You
No,
just
I
said
know.
You was in Sin City.
You got a bunch of them.
Yeah, but at the same time, I did that. Them is strip club songs that's still gonna be in the strip club. Where's the growth at?
How do you plan to exhibit that this year? Great question.
Well, it's great. I'm glad I could talk to you about this because you've actually heard some of the music. Even though it was a few months ago, I think you still heard the essence of it. And the growth is just going through what I've been through and applying it to the music. I've grown a lot as a person. You know, I've been through a lot of shit, especially these past few years. And I realize how good it feels to boss yourself up in a way that you your own source of happiness, to where I feel good. I don't have no song on the radio right now. I don't have this and that or whatever. Like, and I feel the best I ever felt in my life. It ain't based off of nothing but me feeling good. I think that's something that I can lend and, you know, people can maybe apply to their lives, you know? But I mean, as far as the growth in the music, I think you'll just be able to hear it. I don't, you know.
Not necessarily the music, because, yeah, we should be able to hear that. But going back to our repetition conversation.
Yeah.
How do we make music, not the music, but how do we make the music industry not feel so repetitive this year? Like, what's different for Sean this year? His goals, what you want to accomplish, where you want to go. We already heard that family is in your thoughts. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I used to always be like,
And I hate that question sometimes, but sometimes it's really appropriate.
I know, but that's the beauty of it all. It's the unknown. Like, I see myself in 5 years being happy, bro, being successful, and not because of how much money I had, because of the impact I made. You know.
Legacy.
Not just the legacy, just the impact. Like, a legacy is something that is gonna live after I'm gone. And, you know, your reputation and all those things, but I just wanna have real impact. Like, I think it's time for me to put somebody on from my city and return that blessing that I got. You know what I'm saying? That's impact. It's impact when, like, Ye made an impact on me, bro. Like, he put me on a song with him and Hov. There was 10 other verses on that song. Every verse got cut. Ye and Jay was like, man, that nigga Sean, leave him on here, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's hard.
But I think that's the impact I want to make with somebody. I want to give somebody those opportunities. I feel like that's another one of my life purposes. Just like I feel like one of my life purposes is to inspire, just like I feel like, you know, to make music, to have a family. I feel like it's important to return the blessing and the miracle that I've been given to somebody else.
Do you feel like your fans have a an idea as to who you are at your core? Do you think that you've given them that?
No, I haven't. I have not given them that. And they deserve that. So that is something that, and that's more than just the music. But no, they haven't, bro, because like I said, I've shut down. There are times on Instagram I don't post for 6, 8 months. There have been times I don't speak who I am because first of all, I do feel like that what you put on social media, this is for anybody, isn't necessarily 100% them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It may not be 100% the life they're living, 100% their, what they're about, just who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I have not displayed that, and I think I didn't display that because of a lack of self-confidence, because of a lack of not knowing myself, and a lack of caring about, you know, I am an artist and we sensitive about our shit. I do care about what I put out to the world. And I think I just got a little bit overprotective because like I said before, like I used to do weekly vlogs. I used to be updating constantly, but then that was just a part of me still. That wasn't like the whole version of me. And when you live in a part of yourself, you lose touch of the rest of yourself. And that is for sure what happened to me. And these last few years, I've been making music, but I've also been rediscovering the passion for life again because I lost it. It got lost in the job. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does. You have to make me cry and shit.
No, it happens though, bro.
I know. I can relate to this.
This
is a lot of our stories.
It is, and it's like it's a persona and shit. It's like it's not even a persona because it's not a front. It's who you are. It's just like I said, a part of you, and we'll take that shit so seriously, bro. And heaven forbid, I'm glad this didn't happen. But when I told my mom that, when I was going through my shit, when I told her, I don't want you to be a part of my life, like don't call me, and I didn't hit her up. Heaven forbid if she would have died then. Heaven forbid if my brother, who I love, who I don't talk to that much, but we know what it is. You know, it's been times where, you know, he's gone through certain things and I wasn't there for him like I should have been because I was thinking my shit is more important. Mm-hmm. It ain't more important. Even if I'm making money or whatever it is, it's not more important than his life. If he would have lost his life, I would have been destroyed, bro. Mm-hmm. You know? And that's something that I realized, like, what is important and to show my full self. So that's why I did this interview, bro. That's why I sat down. That's why I wanted to come here and talk because, you know, I am nervous to sit and talk. I haven't done it in years. And it is a nerve-wracking thing to share yourself.
To become exposed.
But it's something that I wanted to do because you never know what's gonna happen, bro. And a lot of my friends in my circle are always like, man, I appreciate this book you put me on, man. I appreciate or what you told me or advice and, you know, vice versa with my friends. And I realize how important it is to communicate, man. I realize how important it is to say your piece and for 100%. It to be recorded and noted and for people to see you because people need help too. And I'm not saying what I'm saying is may help somebody, may or may not, but maybe the right person, maybe one person needs to hear this conversation.
Yeah. How is your relationship with your peer group today?
Like who particular?
Well, who do you think is in your peer group? I don't want to answer it for you. I have my own opinion of who is in your peer group. I'd like to hear what you think.
I have all good energy, all good relationships with everybody in my peer group. One of the persons one of the people that, especially after Nipsey died, was important for me to connect with was Kendrick. And
still mad about that.
About what?
About y'all just being mature.
No, we weren't mature. Here's the thing, bro. So I'm so glad you asked this question about peers. Because, first of all, me and Kendrick got a history of songs. He been on my mixtapes, obviously Control, Holy Key, me and Khaled, it was me and Kendrick. Kendrick been in my house before. He done came over, chilled at my house. He done invited me to his mama house in Compton. You know what I'm saying? I done his charity shows.
Excuse me.
Me and him have had a relationship. You know what I'm saying? As peers. Kicked it in Detroit together. You know, so when this whole thing, the whole Big Sean Kendrick beef was going on, it was something I wish I would have spoke up about because there was nothing. And when I say nothing, bro, I'm not even bullshitting you. Because you were one of the main people who were pushing the narrative.
Yeah.
And I can't even fault you for that because...
I was mad I couldn't push it anymore.
No, I get it. But I was mad, you know, at first I'm like, man, this is some bullshit because look, I don't remember how it started. Some people say it started in a freestyle where I said something about some, right? Okay,
Yeah.
No more interviews, somebody said.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Shut up. What was that? You know the fuck. No more interviews.
Nigga, I know.
No more interviews that said it in the title. Hey, I'm addressing this here and I'm not doing no fucking interviews. Don't
Okay.
ask me about it.
Right.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right. So I did no more interviews.
And you went crazy.
And I went crazy.
Crazier than
Okay.
the normal, I'm gonna
Right.
throw something out crazy.
Right. I appreciate that. And so then I remember going online and seeing like, oh, is he talking about Kendrick? Because I was talking about people who rap fast.
Kendrick happens to rap fast sometimes.
So,
you could see
nigga,
how.
do you rap fast?
No.
You've rapped fast before, bro.
In my life I have, but no one
Does
would
Eminem
think.
rap fast?
Yeah, he is
Does
a
Logic rap
fast
fast?
rapper.
Does people-
I don't know how Logic raps. Logic raps horribly to me. I assume he has a fast song here and there. I don't know how Logic
Okay, your
raps.
opinion. That's your opinion. Okay. But
Hey, when niggas talk about fast rapping, we ain't going to Logic and
nigga, look, if
and we know you're not beefing with M.
My nigga, I wasn't beefing with nobody. I was literally addressing a whole fucking, I'm just rapping, nigga. It wasn't like a specific person, or else I would have said his name. Right?
No.
Yes.
Mad rappers don't say a name.
Bro, if they don't say a name, they specifically align it at the person. So look, let me finish.
Go ahead.
So then I seen people saying that, and I'm like, I come from a standpoint of, like I told you, I'm a spiritual person. So I believe what you give your energy to, you attract and it grows, right? So I see that and I'm like, that's some bullshit. So I didn't even get no energy to it. Time goes on, and then Kendrick, the same year Kendrick dropping his album, he dropped a freestyle. And I don't know what he said that made people be like, oh, it's about Sean or some shit, right? So I remember hearing it.
I feel bad at how excited I get hearing about rap beats.
I know. So look, so I hear this shit, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, what part they talking about? And they like, oh, this part. I'm like, okay, so I immediately hit up Top, because I got a relationship with Top. And like I said, I done did charity shows with Ken. I immediately hit them niggas up the day, like the first, and they like, no, it ain't about you. It ain't about you at all. He like, that was just an addressing to everyone. That's just whoever. I can't remember how he specifically phrased it, but he was like, but don't listen to the internet. They just gonna throw 100 on it. They just gonna throw 200 on it. I'm like, all right, for sure. So imagine I have that conversation. I'm like, all right, I don't even gotta reach out to Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna reach out to Kendrick. I couldn't find his number. I don't know if I had a new phone. I know I had Top phone. So I talked to him, it's all done, and this shit keeps growing. And see, but here's the mistake I made though. Even though the belief of like, oh, if you don't put any attention on it, it'll go away. But you were putting your attention on it and people were putting attention on it. So therefore,
I'm sorry.
that law of the universe, no, it's cool.
I am sorry.
It's cool because one of the things it taught me is, first of all, that was the first time I realized that the internet was like one of the biggest things in the world. Like people really listen to the internet. And I was just kind of irritated at you because I'm like, damn, why didn't anybody just hit me? I'm also from thinking from a standpoint like if people are real journalists, if people really about that life and want the real shit, then why don't they just hit me?
Yo, you're way too logical, Big Sean.
No, but listen though. So I'm like, damn, this is crazy. So imagine the position I'm in when I literally talk, when I had that conversation, and then every verse I do, people be like, oh, is this a response? Is this a response? And I'm like, it's like, damn, I can't even show no aggression. People think it's a damn response.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it got to a point where somehow it was just a weird tension between me and him, even though it was already said it wasn't no beef because people made it that way, right?
Mm.
Fast forward, I let the shit go. He let the shit go. He never talked about it. And I never talked about it, and I should have said something, bro. I should have just came out and been like, nah, that ain't it. Or the same. I should have just hit you up and been like, nah. But I didn't.
That would have ended that a lot sooner.
I know I didn't because.
And once you and I spoke and had that conversation, you didn't hear any more about that from me.
Yeah, but once after, so I was working on this song with Nip, and then Nip passed. Well, anyway, so Nip passed. I have a show for J. Cole Festival. I'm on the flight, I'm sitting next to Punch from TDE.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Punch.
Yeah. And he like, bro, what's up, man? You ever hollered at Kendrick? And as soon as he said that, it was like cause I damn near put it on the back burner in my brain. I'm like, damn, no, I never did.
Mm-hmm.
And he like, man, you should definitely holler at him. I'm like, for sure. Got his number, we communicated. The respect is mutual. Yeah, it was literally nothing.
So you guys were mature and you deprived us as fans of an amazing back and forth.
Bro, if it would have been something real, that would have been different.
Well, that's different, but it's never gonna be nothing real. Not
right.
amongst this your man.
Yeah.
It's y'all are friends. Y'all hung out together.
Yeah.
Okay, but all right, let's forget about Kendrick, because I'll have to find him at some point and find out who Candyman is.
Nah, but my point though about you is that your platform, that was back when you was doing Everyday Struggle. And it taught me how important it is to control your own narrative and to speak your piece. So never again will I let anybody speak on my name and it not be true. I'm gonna either check them, I'm gonna tell them, not check them, just communicate with them. My communication was low.
And while we're having this talk, I don't know if I ever told you how grateful I was at our phone call.
Yeah.
And our conversation.
I had to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to reach out to you because I got to a point where it's just like I was working on myself and I was in a different place than, in 2017 when all that was going on. I was in a different place, and one of the biggest things was communication for me. I feel like communication could have saved so many people's lives, so many relationships. I feel like even Nip's life. I feel like if that would have been communicated better, he would have still been here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that's how men are taught to show their emotions sometimes, by retaliating. Mm-hmm. Being tough, you gonna let them do that to you, you gonna let them call you that, you know what I'm saying? And they take it too far, not knowing that when you take somebody's life, you setting back generations, you setting back their whole, your mama worked for you, your grandma, my grandma, you know what I'm saying? You taking somebody's life, I don't know if people know the value of a life for real like that. You know what I mean? But so communication is key. And that's why I was like, let me just communicate with this nigga, because I'm not one of these niggas on the internet saying fuck Joe Budden. I'm not one of these niggas on the internet being like, this nigga's a lame, he an old head ass. Whatever the case was.
They say that about me, Sean?
They say these things about me.
That's fine.
No, but so I was like, let me reach out to him, and I'm glad I did. And it always feels better, bro. When I reached out to, and I had no animosity to Kendrick. When I reached out to him, I just felt better though. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. Like, And I love when people work the shit out. When we had our conversation, that was a good conversation.
It was a great conversation.
And then we got in the studio.
And that was great.
Yeah.
I was telling my partner when we were in the midst of setting this up, and my partner was like, I think y'all are gonna have a good talk. And I said, well, off our last 2 or 3 conversations, I would think it would be a good talk.
Yeah.
Sean is like intense. Like, we have like substantive conversations.
Yeah.
And without you having reached out that day, I'm not certain that I would have known that. I'm not certain I would have taken you for that. So yeah, just communication is important. It's super important.
It is.
But so is rap beef. God damn it. It's
If it was a real rap beef, it would have been exciting, and I would have rose to the occasion. You know,
That's such an elegant way to say. I would have rose to the occasion.
I would have though, but it wasn't. It wasn't a real thing, and I'm not gonna sit up here and we not fucking monkeys. We not slaves. We not about to be like, hey, dance, niggas. Hey, niggas go against each other, fight each other. It's like, how I'm gonna be beefing with somebody who I know. Somebody who I know
brother.
Person. Yeah, I need to be beefing with I fucking signed a slave deal when I got my first deal. I need to be beefing with the goddamn, that's some shit I need to be beefing with.
How many deals have you signed?
So I have another deal now that's way better and more fair, and I feel like I earned that record deal. But point is, it's just like, we ain't got no time to be beefing. That's why I love seeing people like Meek and Drake, or, people just come together and work out their differences. And now, I know every situation different. So there are situations where it's personal and people can't work it out. I get that too.
Yeah.
And if I had that situation, then that's a burden that I would have to carry around with me. That ain't no fun, bro. That's what life is all about, having fucking fun and being happy. You know that, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm just getting into that vibe in recent years.
Yeah. But what other peers in my group, like?
Let's see, there's you. I put you, Kendrick, Cole, Drake, and Wale as you guys' own sector.
Yeah.
Everybody
that was like our air.
Yeah. Y'all kind of carried this last decade to me. And in that, I could think of, I'm not staying on beefs, I'm getting off beefs, but in that, I could think of at least 5 different beefs that we as the fans were supposed to get, but you guys just were always so mature. Like y'all taught a lot, I give y'all a lot of credit for how y'all adapted to a lot that transpired last decade, I'll say that.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
How many people we lost over beef?
Bullshit.
That wasn't even that deep. Probably could have just been communicated. I remember, I don't know the exact story, and I don't know if this was some bullshit for the movie, but I just remember in that movie, I guess it was either the Biggie movie or a Tupac movie, where Big was like, I'm about to call Pac. I'm about to call him right now. And Puff was like, no, you can't call him. I don't know if that really happened or not, but that is just what it takes sometimes, just communicate. And so, I communicate, like Cole, it was just his birthday. I reached out to him for that, and...
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I've been doing that because we've been losing a lot of people. And you never know when people are there today and that day and gone another, so... Yeah, I reached out, I talked to Wale this week, I talked to J. Cole this week, I talked to,
So you're just communicating now?
Yeah, I'm communicating. I haven't seen Drake.
Since Blessings?
No, I've seen him since then, yeah, for sure. But I haven't seen him like recently. And who did you say? Who else?
No, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
I don't put anybody else with y'all. How are you and Ye?
We're great. He's like unstoppable with when he sets his mind on something, he's going there. But yeah, I've spent some time with him. I was in Wyoming. Only reason I'm going to Wyoming is when it's cold.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, no matter what.
Oh, so you've been to the Sunday service?
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
How you you been?
No,
Is there a reason why, or you just?
I haven't been invited.
Isn't it kind of like open invitation sometimes, or? Well, you ain't. I'm talking about. Remember when he was doing Sunday services where it was like 10,000 people, or sometimes?
I have anxiety, and I'm an introvert.
Yeah, me too.
I try to stay away from places where everybody is.
Mm-hmm.
Normally at around Kanye, I see a lot of artists. I try my best to stay away from artists.
Yeah.
It's back to protecting your energy for me.
Yeah. He's an intense guy, though. I'll tell you that. It's been cool though. Like we was actually working on some music.
Music for? You can't say.
Yeah, I can say for him, and a little bit for me.
Who's the best rapper on good music?
Me.
Second best. Ha ha!
What, man? That was how many seconds was that?
What? Second was what?
Before you didn't even give me a chance to answer.
For the second best?
Yeah.
Oh no, take your time and think. You just wasn't gonna get me with the me. We all supposed to say that.
Wait, who were you gonna say?
For which one? Who's the best?
Yeah.
Rapper or artist? Ha!
Who's the best rapper, bro? That's what he said.
The best rap. They're not supposed to ask me this.
Okay. Well, don't answer then.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. Mm-hmm. Between you, Push, and Sci-Hi, that's nice, man. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a wrong answer in that. Push is Push.
Yeah.
Sci-Hi is incredible.
Yeah.
You have proven to be incredible over long periods of time. So it's like, whoever you want to say out of y'all three, I'm cool.
Yeah.
It's not a song that exists with y'all three.
Really?
If there is, it's not to my knowledge.
I got songs with, yeah, I guess not all three of us at the same time. Cause I definitely have some with Sci-Hi. We've been on songs together. And for sure, me and Pusha got like a few songs. Yeah. Needs to happen.
Just something to think about.
It's kind of like, it's hard to get everybody together. I don't know why. It's just been seeming like I talk to Push and then he'll be there, but then I'll be there another time, Sci-Hi will be there. So it's just kind of like we all just gotta like make that conscious effort to click up and go crazy.
Do you have, because this is sponsored by Cash App. Do you have Cash App?
I have cash. And I have apps.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got Cash App.
Oh, so you do have Cash App?
Yeah, I do.
What's the wildest thing you've used it for?
You know what's crazy? I don't even use it.
Okay, lucky you.
Just have it.
Got it.
You never know. Just like I travel with my passport. I don't really need my passport.
But just in case.
Just in case some shit go down.
Cash App in a strip club is helpful.
Yeah?
I hear. Yeah.
You used it in the strip club?
I use it every time I go to a strip club. I don't like a scene being brought my way. I don't want people watching me. I'm not throwing money in the air. I'd much rather just Cash App a young lady $10.
Wow.
So she can enjoy a drink.
Well, my thing about...
Or $20,000.
It kind of does it take the fun out of it though a little bit?
No.
I think the fun is like getting that like cash in your hand, like tax-free.
No way.
It's like Cash App is like a trace of cash. It's kind of like, this came out of my account.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to pay taxes on this.
Listen, you're gonna have to pay taxes, period. And any girl that's looking through the phone, she ain't really thinking about your Cash App.
Yeah. I know.
It's safe.
Hey, I'm old.
Shit, I'll leave the strip club and Cash App you $5 just for a great night. I had fun at your bar. All right, you're not feeling what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let me ask.
Trick Daddy over here.
No, not Trick Daddy. You trick?
No, nigga.
Oh, I heard the Janae songs, nigga. Tell the truth.
Do I trick?
Yeah.
What is your definition of trick?
Oh boy, trick as in spend it. Spend some of your I sold 52 million records money
Yeah, that ain't tricking though. That ain't tricking.
Well, you from Detroit, so y'all might have a different definition. What's y'all definition of tricking?
Paying for pussy damn near, something like that. Something in there.
Yeah, I don't mean that. I don't mean that.
Yeah.
No, that's just
Yeah, of course.
buying escorts.
Taking trips sometimes, going on trips with her, like getting away, spending money on whatever. That's like some of the best times of my life.
What do you think about the Grammy board debacle? Are you familiar with?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's your opinion on it?
Well, what specifically are you asking?
I'm talking about the allegations to the Grammy board's decision-making process. I'm talking about the claims about the lack of diversity in terms of picking winners. I'm talking about the conflict of interest that they say exists between certain members of the Grammy board being managers of certain artists, the outside counsel that the Grammys solicits, how that could be a conflict of interest with some of the people. It's not a transparent process of how we are coming up with winners and losers. And like you said earlier, Erykah Badu was sensitive about our shit. You're nominated. I'm nominated.
Right.
How do you feel about the process? Is it bullshit? The part that the labels play in this.
Is it
the
bullshit?
the ad companies that like there's a lot of
I think it's just,
entities.
I think that my question to them is, I don't know how realistic it is that out of all these songs that people vote for all these songs and then from there they get the list of songs for a nomination. Like, to me, that's kind of like an unrealistic way
to
of
go about it.
You know, because there have been times for songs to get nominated for something you ain't never heard that shit.
I never fill out the ballot thing that they send to me.
Right.
Because I'm not well versed in all of these different categories. Some of these people I have no idea who they
Exactly.
are, so I'm not gonna vote. And they tell you that you have to fill out all the boxes. So no,
Yeah,
I'd
I
rather
know.
not fill out any.
So that's my point, is just kind of like, I don't know how accurate that is, you know, or how they've been able to, because if that's to that many songs and that many people and that much data to go through all of that, like, that's my thing. Like, I don't know what that process is, so I can't speak on it.
Got it.
But I mean, I do think that it's not anything based off of, it's strictly an opinion-based award.
Yeah.
So do I think their opinions be bullshit sometimes? I mean, yeah, there have been times where I've been like, there's some bullshit, but that's just my opinion. There have also been times where I've been like, yeah, that was right. They got it right. You know what I mean? Do I think it's, what do you mean, like racist a little bit or some shit or something like that you said?
Yeah.
I think they can for sure, yeah, for sure. It can be racist, yes. Like, to me, Tyler, the Creator album wasn't even a rap album. I mean, the first thing he said when he dropped it was like, this is not a rap album. I remember him saying that. And in certain ways, I'm not saying they hate black people, I'm not saying in that way, but yeah, there have been ways where there are boxes and there are certain lines that I feel like need to be addressed.
By
them.
Okay. Is there anything we can do to aid in that process as artists?
I think just be vocal. Be real too. It's not like when he spoke up, when Tyler spoke up and said that, I really respected that, because it's like he was fresh off that stage, you know what I mean? And he probably had that energy and that rush going through him, and he worked so hard for that, but he was still able to speak up and speak for not just himself, but for a lot of people, you know, that have probably felt that way. You know, I've heard, I don't know the exact words, but I've heard Kanye say something similar to that too. Like, damn, my album, I should have, you know, been nominated for Album of the Year as opposed to.
Yeah.
I've heard that, you know, in the atmosphere before. So I think it's something that just needs to be addressed. Yeah.
How much attention do you?
What you think? What do you think about it?
I think it's nasty. I think it's disgusting. I think all of those things are prevalent inside of the board.
What makes it
and
like disgusting to you?
What makes it disgusting to me? It's not based on the merit of music. I'm not with nothing in the music business that's not based on the actual merit of the music. And no, we're in the music business, so it's all a business. These award ceremonies are just big ad commercials. Like, now that I'm a little aware of what's happening, this is a commercial for everybody but the actual artists and the music. But we're the people that they want to sit in the seats to drive traffic. So they can show us on the commercials, so they can show their ad people, so they can boost whatever I'm not.
It's like other agendas.
There are too many other agendas.
And it ain't based off of just, like you said,
It's based off everything but music. I'm a musician. You're a musician. Yeah, let's talk about the music here. And I just don't feel like that. So I don't attend. You can't eat in there. It's 4 hours of just blah. I'm not trying to go to no fucking parties. I'm not trying to network and be mixy here. Like, if we didn't network the whole rest of the year, like, if that's in the cards for me, God will put it in the cards for me.
Right.
But nah, I'm not just coming to a bunch of award shows. That is me.
Yeah.
But I'm in a different position. You may kind of have to go at one point.
You never have to go. Even if you win, you never have to go.
Okay.
You don't ever have to do anything.
Well,
That's
they
my
may
thing.
ask you.
That's my thing. It's just kind of like, they are who they are, the Grammys, and they gonna do what the fuck they want to do, I guess. And it's just kind of like, I don't worry about shit I can't control, because that's just a waste of my time. That's like somebody living in my house rent-free, my house being my mind, you know? So it's like, yeah, I think it needs to be corrected. Will it? I don't know. Does it affect me? No. Do I make any money off of the Grammys? No.
So fuck it.
So, you know, whatever. But I do want it to be equal. I do. I'm for that. I think that needs to be addressed and handled.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. How much attention will be paid by you to bundle packages when it's time for you to put your project out? That seems to be a really important thing for artists and labels when it comes to releasing a project now.
How important? Yeah. I mean, I've always been somebody who was merch. I sell a lot of merch, like at my shows, online, when I do merch. Because I rarely do it, but when I do, it does very well, you know? And yeah, I you know, we talked about it, but not from a monetization standpoint, as opposed to just giving people fire merch just to like rock. That's kind of where my mind is when I think about it. I haven't thought about like, oh, I gotta, you know, I seen niggas like selling crazy, you know, things, cause you talking about it goes with the album, right?
Yeah.
Like it counts as an album sale. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have merch. I always have merch. I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell it when my album drops, so yeah.
But will it count?
Do I have an option? Do I have a choice for it not to count or something?
I don't know.
If they change, I don't know.
I
what the
assume
rules are.
artists sell. I don't really know the rules to that. I've never done it. That's really why I was asking you.
The shit changed so much.
Artists sell merch all
Hey,
year.
Shit changed so much, bro.
Yeah, it's like
It has changed so much.
It's a different game.
People
it is.
really care about the numbers too. Like
There's
that.
pandering for Billboard position every fucking week. Every week it's an artist looking like a doof online saying, hey, make me number one. No, you make you number one. Leave us alone. Yeah, wow. I don't, that's y'all, that's some megastar shit.
You got some merch or some shit? You about to?
I have merch.
Yeah.
I do really well on my merch.
That's what I'm saying.
I do great on my, but I'm not releasing music to couple it I guess I only pay attention to that because I have to pay attention to the devaluing of music right before our very eyes. So now we're conditioning the consumer to think that, hey, this T-shirt and concert ticket is more important than the actual project. And that I probably have a problem with.
I never even looked at it like that. Feel you though. But at the same time, when you're a fan of somebody and you know, you want that hoodie or that shirt, it just makes sense. Ain't nothing wrong with it, like I said, it's just, as I'm getting older, bro, I realize there's no such thing as right or wrong, really. It's all opinion. You know what I mean? It's just like your opinion, my opinion. This shit could look crazy. Somebody could come out and sell a whole bunch of albums because they sold a whole bunch of merch or concert tickets, but it's just like, whatever works for you, whatever makes you happy, do that shit. Like, I don't give a fuck no more. Like, hey, I sold this. You know, I have platinum records before the streaming.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about none of that.
Is there any pressure from anywhere to live up to some type of streaming standard that may have changed since the last time you were out?
No pressure at all. You know, when the streaming first, me and Kendrick actually, our albums were the first albums to go platinum as soon as the streaming happened. So I just remember the like forefront of when it happened. That I remember that was the first thing I saw, the streaming happen, and then like all these records I had, you know, some of them were gold, some of them were platinum, and then a lot of them went up more. So I'm not complaining about that. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess any pressure
No, I don't have any pressure though, bro. It's just kind of like, if my life ended today, I followed my dreams, bro. I did it. You know, I wanted to, like, I used to just want to have a song on the radio. That was like my goal in life at one point. When I wrote my first rap when I was 11 years old, and I rapped it to my mom, bro. I was so nervous. And in that crucial moment, as a parent, she could have been like, nigga, don't ever do this shit again. This is like, niggas are dying out here. This is, you know, she seen Biggie and Pac die. She seen, you know, your little son doing that shit, talking about coming from outside, talking about I wrote a rap. She could easily shut that down. So instead, she nurtured it, and we've been through the trenches. So what I'm saying is like, we was in debt, and she supported me through it all. Man, I bought her a house. I took care of them. I showed my grandma, who was disappointed that I didn't go to college because I wanted to do music, because to her, college was a better way to a better life. You know, I showed her before she died that I did it, you know, in their eyes. Like, I was successful. I had songs on the radio. I had platinum songs, so it's just kind of like, I appreciate the ride I've already had. So obviously I want to go up more, but I've done the impossible already, period. And that's one of the things. It's like, I've lived my life in love, bro. I lived it as a dreamer. I imagined a lot of things and seen it happen. So when I talk about like my future projects, I want it to be my biggest album ever. I want it to, you know, go triple, quadruple platinum. Yeah, I would love that.
But if it don't,
hey, but if something happened and I couldn't do music anymore, I already did it, bro. And that's a true testament to the fans, the people, my city, people who rode for me, people who stuck up for me. You know, I'm really thankful for that.
that's a word.
Yeah, that's facts.
I want to wrap up, but I just had a few Detroit questions.
Oh yeah.
For you.
You didn't even know Carhartt was from Detroit.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's a Detroit company.
You educated me.
Yeah.
I thought that you came in here just trying to dress like you were from New York.
No. Wow.
Anytime I've seen Detroit niggas in car, that's what I thought. Because I've seen M in Carhartt.
In a Detroit hat, huh?
Well, it looks like a Yankee hat with a D.
Well, I guess the Yankee hat kind of does look like a
Yeah, it's the
Detroit
same hat. It's the same hat.
Yeah.
Dage Loaf. Last time you spoke to her, she's missed.
Oh, 2 weeks ago? She I don't want to speak on her, behalf, but she has music though.
I can't wait to hear some. I can't wait to hear some.
I fuck with Dej. Obviously, me and her have one of her singles, single after Try Me, was a song me and her did, and I fuck with her originality. Something really original about her. I've heard a lot of people kind of like take that sound and use it in their way, but I feel like she was one of the people at the forefront of just the way she does her music.
Just wavy.
It's wavy.
Just wavy.
Yeah.
It was really unique.
I feel like that about a lot of people I know. It's like I remember even myself, it was, people will always come up to me and be like, oh, people took your flow on this and that and that, but the point, I'm not trying to make this about me at all, but the point is that a lot of my peers, even Janae, I feel like with R&B music, she really helped drive that sound in too. As far as she's like one of the pioneers of that R&B, of that style of R&B. Like I feel like and I see it when I'm with her, I see the respect that her peers give her.
I wish she would unblock me.
Well, you shouldn't have been talking all that shit, I guess.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I live with it.
But point is like people like her, people like Dej Loaf, because Dej Loaf in another way, she created like a little wave as well. And I'm just blessed to be around that, to see that too. Like I appreciate being around that. But as far as Dej Loaf, she got something coming for sure.
You were one of the people at the forefront of Detroit versus everybody in that movement.
Yeah.
And y'all started a lot of shit with that one. Everybody came up with their city versus everybody, which was cute. But Detroit had a real leg to stand on because y'all probably could put 5 MCs together that would be hard to do something with.
Right.
How does the next generation of Detroit MCs view the OGs as in you, Royce, whoever they may view that way, but is it like a mutual respect because you guys paved the way and they're appreciative, or is it, man, move over with whatever y'all was doing back then, it's a new wave?
They definitely got respect for me. Like, but I've also got respect for them enough to where I reached out to them.
Got it.
And then, we just had a session where a lot of Detroit was in there together. So, it was me, Drago Bino, T Grizzly, Cash Doll. It's a whole bunch of people, bro. Some of my best friends from high school, we had Chuck English in there. You know what I'm saying? We had like a lot of people in there because that's something in our city that we don't even come together like that. Mm-hmm. But when I did that and I was playing them all my new album, up to date. And not only were they just excited, but they just were like, damn, like we just appreciate you like fucking with us. And I don't know at what point when they thought that like, I'm like, why wouldn't I fuck with y'all? Like, that don't even make no sense to me. But the lack of communication will have them thinking that, oh, he may be on another wave, or he this, or he in a different realm, or he too big to do that, or this or that. Like, no, like, we came together and we was on the same frequency. But so I can't speak for how they feel about other people though. I don't know how they feel about Eminem. I don't know how they feel about Royce, but I know how they feel about me because I actually cared and I took the time out to see it through. Because I do care about that city. And a lot of them were saying like, damn, nigga, you gave us the blueprint. Like you was the first nigga out to really make it out of the D. And that's the truth. That's something that it wasn't nobody else out of the D besides Eminem, but like that looked like them. And that's just facts. That was like doing shows in Japan, you know, seeing niggas wearing D hats
At
in
that
Japan.
level, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or Red Wings hats in London and shit. So they recognize that. Even T, like, and another thing is I'm never too busy to pick up the phone for them. I'll talk to T about something. I'll give him some advice. He'd be like, bro, I just need some advice, bro. I want to hit you up. Or there's been a lot of like shaman talks for sure where I've talked to not just people from Detroit, like artists. I remember I even sat with Roddy Ricch one time and he was asking me like, you know, asking me stuff about foundation. I'm sitting there talking to him about, you know, ways that think about giving him different ways where he could give back to where he from and just like sitting down having a talk that ain't got nothing to do with music. You know, and I've had those type of talks with a lot of people. A lot of people hit me up. And a lot, you know, Cash Doll, all them, like I said, T, like a lot of people just hit me up to talk. And I appreciate that they do that. You know, I welcome that.
Should.
Because there have been times where I needed somebody to talk to and I didn't know who to hit up like that. Yeah.
I have one final question that is Detroit related, but it's not music related.
Yeah.
You guys hold the 3rd pick in the NFL draft.
The Lions got this curse on them that I'm just like,
Y'all
I don't know if they have to sell the team.
You have Matthew Stafford,
Right.
who injured himself this year, but can still throw the football.
He had like some back problems, ribs or something like that.
He had some issues, but he was having a hell of a season before he got injured.
Yeah.
And the projected order of the draft goes Joe Burrow, Chase Young, and you guys are expected to take, we don't know, because y'all may need a quarterback or you may not. Which way would you like to see this go? Would you like Tua to be on the Lions?
Yeah, and I think they need, I think more importantly than just having like one of those top draft picks, which obviously we definitely need that, but I think they need to figure out, the administration needs to get a little more enthusiastic about it or something. Because sometimes when that changes up, a whole team, a whole club can really come together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I think is needed more than anything, because it has to be some type of goddamn Lions curse going on. I don't know what it is. You know, am I wrong? It's like, what the fuck, man? It's like every year we like, nigga, we going to the Super Bowl. I be having my Lions jersey
Well,
on.
why do
man.
y'all keep saying that?
Because, man.
Y'all ain't been close to
One
going
of the
to a
best
Super
things
Bowl.
I love about Kansas City winning is that coach, he been a head coach for 7 years, but he had been coaching for 21 years. Like, I love that, bro.
I like that story.
I love seeing that.
Lost his son.
Yeah, lost his son.
Yeah, no,
I
this
love
is.
that. The point is, it's like you gotta stick with it. You can't be switching up. Like, that's why I be repping the Lions, nigga. That's why I be rocking my Lions gear and be at the games and, you know, performing at halftime. I'm like, I'm down for the Lions, bro. I'm down for them.
The Lions. Well, I wish.
Who your team?
I'm too embarrassed to share.
Who? The Jets?
No way.
The Giants?
Yeah.
Why not the Jets?
I'm not a fan of any team that ends in Ets. Mets, Jets, Nets. Nah.
So you're a Knicks guy.
Knicks, Giants.
Wow.
It's embarrassing.
It's been a while since I met somebody who
It's embarrassing.
liked the Knicks over the
Steve Stout likes them.
Steve Stout, yeah, okay.
Well, he just got hired for the Knicks.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he got a job.
Kind of has to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Knicks, I'm embarrassed about me liking them, so I don't really share it anymore.
Yeah, but see, you didn't switch up, though.
No, I didn't switch up. I'm still here. I'm New York. I'm New York everything. I'm New York everything till I go.
Yeah, they gonna have their time.
Hopefully I'm alive to see it.
Yeah, you got a long time in you, man. How old are you, 29?
We just did a whole interview with gratitude about not knowing when we will take our last breath.
Yeah.
I have zero idea when that day will come, and I'm 39, not 29. I know I fooled you with how young and luxurious my skin looks.
Hey, a lot of people ain't make it to 21, we know.
It's true.
29, 39. Hey, if you look at your life as 100%, you're only 39% through it. That's how I always look at my life. It's like, if 100%, 100 years is 100%, then I'm only 31% through my life. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot to do. We got a lot to...
Yeah, I'm glad I be needing positive brothers like you and Chance, and it's a few of you rappers that's positive that really do something for my spirit, and
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I do.
That's good, man.
I thank you for coming here. I thank you for spending the time with me.
Yeah.
I thank you for being honest.
I'm glad we
and
communicated.
open. Yeah, like this is...
Communication is the bridge to salvation that God is holding our hands to walk across. But like any bridge, you can't skip one step.
This nigga gonna be a pastor in future life, man. Thank you, Sean.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Nah, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.